People who cheat in their Minecraft speedruns are hilarious because they're terrible at hiding the fact that they cheated. These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns.
Okay, before I click play on the speedrun, listen, I know it's fake, but this kid's microphone was so funny, there was just no way I couldn't include this in the video. The speedrunner falls down a hole with a chest at the end of it, and just listen to the reaction to what they find.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Alright, that's enough of that. So yeah, the speedrunner finds some amazing loot in record time, and they also just happen to be right next to this conveniently placed end portal. They jump in the portal and... yeah, they're still screaming in their mic. But wait a second, did you see that? I'll go back and play it again. In a matter of literal milliseconds, there's a cut to the speedrun and the timer somehow jumped ahead by 24 minutes. Honestly, I'm pretty curious what happened during that time. The rest of the speedrun is pretty normal, you know? They die 1, 2 times, their timer resets to 0 seconds, and they find a chest with flint and steel in it, as if that's gonna help them. I mean, come on, buddy, you have 640 golden apples, and you've still managed to die twice. But hang on a second, is their Minecraft skin the Rock? This speedrun is causing me physical pain. The speedrunner manages to die again, and they suddenly jump cut 27 minutes later, but they still have not beat the dragon. But it's okay, because their friend ends up killing the dragon for them. And it wouldn't be a fake Minecraft speedrun if their timer didn't malfunction again for the 4th time. This speedrun is gonna haunt me in my dreams.
What in tarnation? Hold your horses. Before this next speedrun, I have a legal obligation to tell you. Today's video is sponsored by War Thunder. War Thunder is a free-to-play, large-scale online war game that's available right now on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and even mobile devices. You can immerse yourself in this hyper-realistic battlefield by playing how you want to. Fighting in the skies, attacking enemies on the ground, sinking your foes to the bottom of the ocean, or flattening the entire map by dropping a stinking nuclear strike? Yes, you can drop nukes in this game. There are so many different military vehicles to choose from. Tanks, helicopters, planes, or naval battleships, which can all be upgraded, improved, and customized to make your combat machine unique. You can fight in locations from all over the world using military technology spanning over 100 years. With the all-new Leviathans update that's out now, the atmosphere of a real war becomes even more immersive. This update features all new combat machines, including the unique American stealth helicopter, the Comanche, the Soviet T-72B3 tank that automatically intercepts and destroys incoming missiles and rockets. On the seas, the legendary Yamato battleship, one of the most powerfully armed battleships ever created. There's even a brand new game mechanic for anti-aircraft vehicles. Now you can control multiple units at once. You can experience all of this action on the 2 classic maps, Kuban and Berlin, that just got a brand new visual overhaul. You can download War Thunder today for free by clicking the link in the description. All new players and those who haven't played War Thunder for 6 months or more will receive special bonuses, 100,000 silver lions, a special decorator, Eagle of Valor, and more. You can also enjoy the battlefield for free on iOS or Android in War Thunder Mobile. Don't miss out on these huge bonuses. Download War Thunder for free today.
This speedrun starts off by finding a ruined nether portal. They do get very lucky by finding exactly what they needed. 2 fire charges, 3 iron ingots, and 2 obsidian. Just enough to complete the portal and light it. They enter the nether, and here's where things get wacky. We all know trees can spawn in the nether, but this speedrunner finds an oak tree? I just facepalmed. They break the tree and use their newfound wood to craft an iron pickaxe, but they waste a ton of time mining netherrack. Wait, what is he doing? I am absolutely flabbergasted. Well, they enter whatever this portal is called, and it brings them to the middle of nowhere. But they literally dig down a few blocks, and they're in the stronghold. Okay, so this is clearly fake, but it can't get worse, right? Well, they find a painting on the wall, which is impossible, because paintings don't spawn naturally. They right-click on the painting, and it opens a chest with a homing missile.
Friendly predator missile inbound.
That was intimidating, and I take back what I said. This one's legit. This speedrun starts off mostly normal, but hang on a second. Did you see that? I'll play it again. Yeah, this is Minecraft's first sighting of an unidentified flying object. Well, they carry on with their speedrun and break some trees for wood, but then they say this.
I think I'm lagging a little bit. I think I'm lagging. Oh, I think I'm lagging.
Yeah, I guess lag is the only thing that'll explain what just happened. So they take their newly found 31 oak logs and make a crafting table and some tools, and mentally prepare yourself because I think their computer is gonna start lagging again. They break this bush, immediately look up, and literally one freeze frame later, and there's diamonds. Ah yes, the dead bush. Minecraft's newest speedrun strategy. In a record time of 40 seconds, this speedrunner gets full diamond armor, and then they start attacking this innocent squid. Well, if I pause the video here, you can clearly see what looks like particle effects in the sky, and then you can barely hear the speedrunner whispering to someone saying this.
Drop steak in the water.
Wow, that sure was lucky. Who knew squid dropped 14 cooked steak? So the speedrunner approaches a cave and they find iron blocks, which were clearly spawned here in creative mode. But they're so bad at cheating, they quickly realize they can't even mine iron blocks with a wooden pickaxe.
You need a stone pickaxe to mine iron blocks? Oh my.
The speedrun not only became night in a split second, but it also looks like the speedrunner magically shaved off a minute from their time. They find a water bucket lying around conveniently next to a lava pool, but if you ask me, I've never seen a naturally occurring lava pool like this. They proceed to show off their extreme speedrun portal building skills.
No! My lava!
Well, after self-sabotaging their only chance at going to the nether, the speedrun suddenly cuts to them being in the ocean. And luckily, they do find an underwater ruined nether portal. But after failing to mine the stone and quickly running out of air, the stone blocking their way completely disappears from thin air. Their computer's probably just lagging again. Then the speedrunner enters the nether and says this.
Guys, I think I'm lagging a little bit.
But as he says that, the speedrunner shamelessly types in a /locate command, reveals he's playing on a server by accidentally pressing tab, and teleports himself to a fortress.
And this next part is my favorite.
Ah, I'm gonna die.
Dude, that perfectly cut scream gets me every time. After the speedrunner escapes like 1,000 near-death experiences, they turn around, break the blocks in front of them, and they conveniently find a blaze. What is it doing hiding there? Yeah, somehow the speedrunner negotiated a peace treaty with the blaze and got the rods without actually killing it. Shortly after, they find a piglin, but they throw diamonds at them and say this.
These are worth more than gold.
And they get ender pearls from the trade. Dream, take notes, buddy. The speedrunner returns to the overworld, approaches this very inconspicuous enderman, and says this.
Here, take some I have enders and lead me to a stronghold.
So the speedrunner follows the enderman, and at the end of the pilgrimage, they must have gone so fast that they went back in time, because their timer says 10 seconds. What in tarnation? They dig straight down right into the stronghold portal room, but wait a second, where did the end portal frame go?
Was this you, Enderman? Fix it right now or I'll kill your entire family.
Okay, well, after the speedrunner threatens the enderman, it fixes the end portal and they enter the end. And believe it or not, the speedrunner proceeds to have the most scuffed conversation ever with the ender dragon.
I'm destroying my end crystals.
Huh? You can talk?
Yes, I could. What else?
Come down here. Dragon, come down here. Oh, dragon, stay back. Hey, Ender Dragon, let me win or I'll kill you.
Alright, fine, whatever. Go win.
Well, that was easy. He's a world record.
Okay, honestly, if there was such a thing as Minecraft pacifist speedrun, this guy would be #1. This speedrunner spawns in a village and finds an iron golem. They run through a savanna biome, fight a ravager, then vanquish the ender dragon. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This speedrun is pretty special because we were lucky enough to get subtitles. Yeah, this is gonna be hilarious. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they're literally in creative mode. They changed their game mode back to survival, and they do say sorry, so I'm willing to give them a fresh start. The speedrunner breaks the wood blocks, and wait, this doesn't look like a block. Oh yeah, of course, it's the woodman. The speedrunner gets very lucky with the amount of wood they get, and it's all thanks to this very new and very legitimate mob. What have I gotten myself into? The speedrunner crafts some tools, and then they start mining stone. But after a very suspicious cut and the haste icon appearing, I'm beginning to think a wooden pickaxe is not actually this fast. But hey, I mean, they're making great time. After crafting new tools, they test out their stone sword on this seemingly regular pig, and everything looks normal, but literally one freeze frame later, and suddenly the drops multiply to 64 cooked pork chops. I'll tell you, buddy, these are dream level odds. The speedrunner says, okay guys, so I can't find a lava pool to go to the nether, but I have a solution. I'm actually scared. Ayo God, can you spawn a nether portal for me? Okay, I'm sorry, but if he really thinks that God is just gonna descend from the heavens and... What? Alright, I stand corrected. So they enter their heavenly portal and enter the nether, and after spending like 5 seconds trying to find a fortress, the speedrunner announces that they just can't. But when they turn around, they find the Netherman. This must be another one of those new Minecraft mobs. So the speedrunner proceeds to follow the Netherman, and what do you know? He's brought directly to the nether. How convenient. Goodbye, Netherman. The speedrunner kills some blazes, gets 8 blaze rods, and returns to their nether portal. Once they return to the overworld, the speedrunner claims there is a 1 in a trillion chance you could find buried treasure with ender pearls in it. You learn something new every day. So they start digging into into the sand, and you can guess what's about to happen. Totally legit. So the speedrunner crafts Eyes of Ender, throws one, and travels in that direction. But after a while of traveling, they start to get frustrated. So the speedrunner asks, is there anyone that can help me? And after a while of just pure silence, they find God, literally. And just like the stories in the Bible, God goes into creative mode and makes the end portal. The speedrunner enters the end, and they fight in a grubby battle against this Walmart Great Value Ender Dragon. This really was a blessed speedrun. This next speedrun is Danny DeVito eating a dozen eggs?
This speedrunner starts off spawning in a forest. They immediately walk to a tree and start mining it, and underneath it is a barrel, but it's empty. So they must have forgotten to fill it before they started the speedrun. They start hitting the mobs for food, but they aren't moving, and they're floating in midair. So the speedrunner definitely spawned them in prior with command blocks. After forgetting to fill their secret barrel, they resort to plan B and craft some tools. And then they find a wall that's suspiciously covered by stone. So they start mining it, but it's taking a lot of time. Wait, why are they walking away? And a new enchanted pickaxe literally falls from the sky. And it has a higher enchantment level than subscribers I have on YouTube. You've got to be kidding me. Needless to say, he mines a lot quicker now. The speedrunner finds a ruined nether portal that's only missing a few obsidian. And would you look at that, he finds obsidian in the chest. But it's not enough. Even cheating, this guy is terrible. With no shame left, the speedrunner just looks down at the ground. And when he looks back up, the nether portal is lit, even though it's not even complete. Not suspicious at all. They go to the nether, but waste a ton of time trying to find a nether fortress. All of a sudden, there's a cut to the speedrun, but it seems like nothing is different. They're still wasting a bunch of time. Wait a second, what? They just killed a strider, and it dropped 32 blaze rods. Is that even possible? Clearly, they don't need a nether fortress anymore, so they go back to the nether portal. But it's somehow not lit anymore. And I think they did this for a reason. They explore a little more and they find a bastion. But instead of trading with a piglin for ender pearls, they hit a button on the wall that uncovers a secret wall compartment. Inside of the chest is a stack of ender pearls. And this amazing loot is all thanks to the PP merchant. They go back to the original nether portal and somehow it's lit again. They return to the overworld and now they just need to find the stronghold. So naturally they craft Eyes of Ender, throw them, and follow its direction. Wait, why are they walking away? Instead, the speedrunner decides to craft a boat and they conveniently find a flowing stream of water. And it leads them directly to the stronghold. The speedrunner finds their way to the end portal pretty easily, considering every other path is blocked off by cobblestone. This has to be a joke. So they fill the portal and enter the end. And out of nowhere, they start flying, as if they're in creative mode, but their hotbar doesn't show any of that. So using creative mode and cropping a fake hotbar over their screen, they vanquish the dragon and beat the game. What incarnation did I just watch? This speedrunner starts off by locating a village. They take some beds, search the chests, and the loot looks pretty normal. Some armor, some bread, some emeralds, and after a while of exploring the village, they find a nearby cave, but something about it looks unusual. Anyways, they find a minecart with a sign next to it that reads roller coaster, and it brings them to the stronghold. Totally legit. Well, this is pretty cringe, but it can't get worse, right? Well, they start searching the stronghold for loot, and they find some armor, some golden apples, a black hole. Wait, what? This one was legit. This speedrunner must be Doctor Strange's cousin because it's pretty magical. They spawn in the middle of nowhere. See? Nothing. They turn around and when they look back again, there's suddenly a village. Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses. And they're suddenly level 41? How is this possible? So they go into the village and start searching the chests. And the loot looks pretty normal. Some oak saplings, some bread. Wait, why are they closing it? Oh, they're opening it again. What? In the blink of an eye, the chest suddenly is filled with iron tools, obsidian, and apples. This must be the newest feature. So they go into the next house and take a bed. Wait, what are they doing? And the beds somehow multiplied themselves. You know what? I work pretty hard on these videos. Maybe I'm just tired and this is all my imagination. So they mine some hay, they turn around, and okay, yeah, this guy's definitely cheating. Out of nowhere, a nether portal with flint and steel magically appear, but if I rewind the footage, there was nothing there. So they light their magical nether portal and enter the end. When in the nether, they look around and there's clearly nothing in front of them, until this nether fortress just spawns right in front of them. Also, there's conveniently a stack of netherrack suddenly on the ground. So they use the netherrack to build up to the nether fortress and start exploring it. Wait, why'd they stop? Well, they turn around and is that a blaze rod? They pick up the blaze rod and when they turn around, there's ender pearls on the ground. Okay, this speedrunner is really messing with my head now. They turn around again and oh look, the nether portal came back. It's nice to see the speedrun back to normal, but the nether portal brings them to the stronghold. You've gotta be kidding me. So they craft Eyes of Ender, fill the portal, and enter the end. But when they get to the end, something isn't right. The dragon is nowhere to be found. its health bar is gone, and there's suddenly a chat box notification that Herobrine left the game. And just like that, they beat the game. I have so many questions.
Listen, before I click play on the speedrun, I know it's fake. Their hotbar is on the second slot when they spawn, there's experience orbs on the ground, and there's what appears to be another player's floating name tag in this house. But this speedrun had some of the worst acting I've ever seen. It's just so funny that I had to show it. The speedrunner proceeds to show off their sheer skill and raw talent when they enter a library and can't figure out how to get out.
Wait, no, how do I get out? Quick, no, I gotta go out this way.
These are the actions of only the top 1% of gamers. After wasting an appropriate amount of time, the speedrunner throws us in for a loop when he enters a villager house and conveniently finds 19 totems of undying, which is perfect because he's so bad he's gonna need every single one. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. There's a lot wrong here. But believe it or not, this guy actually has Minecraft speedrunning down to a science. Just listen to his deductive reasoning here.
This one gave 2 swords, but they're both the same, so it doesn't matter.
A true scholar. Anyways, the speedrunner explores the village and goes after some of the pigs for food. But watch what happens when he kills the first pig.
This one looks like it'll taste good. Okay. Oh!
If I play that clip again in slow motion, you can see a stack of golden apples gracefully descend from the heavens. And my first suspect is the completely inconspicuous name tag from earlier. As if that wasn't already embarrassing enough, the speedrunner pulls a double whammy immediately afterwards. Tell me if you notice it. Another day, another UFO sighting in Minecraft speedruns. Logically, the speedrunner's next step is to build a nether portal, and the way they sing the Dream speedrun music in an attempt to distract the speedrun moderators is absolutely hilarious. Yep, nothing unusual here. So the speedrunner built their portal and enters the nether. But these next sequence of events are more chaotic than an M. Night Shyamalan movie twist.
There's like 3 other people in this game.
Mob spawners are appearing out of thin air. And is that a floating potato? This is what peak speedrun performance looks like. After this series of goofy events, the speedrunner proceeds to show us their innate acting skills too.
Wow, they dropped ender pearls already. The thing is, I only got 2 blaze rods. Oh, wow, we found a couple more blaze rods.
This kid's going places, all right. While the speedrunner makes their way back to the overworld, they start singing the Dream music again, which can only mean one thing.
OMG, guys! It's Invisible Herobrine! We're on pace for a new world record!
Well, that all happened very quickly. Despite the fact that the speedrunner is now in the end and cheating, they are so bad they didn't even bring a pickaxe with them. But the way this speedrunner solves his dilemma is my favorite part.
I'm gonna mine this block and it's gonna drop a pickaxe! Okay!
Yeah, the speedrunner really just magically teleported above the ground. And now they're ready to finally beat the Ender Dragon and get that sweet, sweet world record. But instead, they waste tons of time. And I just noticed now, are they playing on a public Minecraft server? This is so cursed. I can absolutely guarantee you will not guess what happens next. Here are your options. They die by accident, they get the world record, or they find a banana. Instead of me telling you, just watch. Johnny, roll the clip.
Oh, it's here! It's the Banana Man! He's coming to give me, wow! Whatever he's gonna give me!
Okay, yeah, this is hilarious and all, but did you see what just happened? While I was distracted laughing at how goofy the speedrunner was, the end completely changed in the matter of a single frame.
See you on speedrun.com!
This guy's definitely gonna be a future actor. I'm gonna apologize in advance for the speedrunner because he has a lot of energy.
Alright, boys, we're about to start a new speedrun.
I give it an A for enthusiasm, but I'm actually really concerned that they drank like 50 cups of coffee prior to recording this, because they talk way too much.
Type vibe, you know?
Yeah, they spawned right in a village while it's nighttime. The chances of this happening are literally impossible. But you know what? Maybe it's all just a coincidence. Maybe this speedrun is legit. Okay, so it's possible there's some foul play at hand here. He goes door to door robbing these villagers while they're sleeping, and he found full netherite armor. You can imagine how much more energy this doofus has after all this amazing loot.
Oh my god, more diamonds!
So yeah, not even a minute into the speedrun, and this guy is already richer than a post-scam Logan Paul. It's easy to identify that this speedrun has a pretty clear structure to it. Find loot and freak out.
Oh my god, 3 totems in a shield!
And just like a ride at Disney, it gets better every single time.
This is the rarest one. Oh my god!
All things aside though, can we talk real quick about how there's 5 iron golems outside of a floating house? It's not the only strange thing about this Minecraft seed. The speedrunner finds something that's just a little out of the ordinary. Johnny, roll the clip.
I gotta go mining just so I can get into the sun. Oh my god, no way!
The speedrunner gets very lucky finding the legendary cave end portal. And would you look at that? They have exactly 1 Eye of Ender to finish the portal. How convenient. The speedrunner enters the end with about as much enthusiasm as I'd have if I hit 1 million subscribers.
No way!
Just click the subscribe button, it's not that difficult. This speedrunner's duel with the Ender Dragon is both hilarious and ridiculous, because instead of just hitting it with the weapon like a normal human being, they decide to just sloppily place an entire stack of TNT where it perches, ignite it, and pray that it works. What happens next is quite possibly the funniest moment in fake Minecraft speedrun history.
I'm gonna kill it! I gotta kill it, please! Please! No way, world record! Oh no! Oh my god, no! Okay, it's fine, guys! It's fine! No! Ah!
Yeah, it ends just like that. The only world record this guy got was the Goofiest Goober Award. This speedrunner explores the overworld, then places 1, 2, 3 wither skulls on the— Wait a second, what's going on here?
Oh my goodness, he can't. No, it's impossible. What the wither? Get him. Oh my goodness.
That boss? That boss was so easy. That was a piece of cake. Let's just move to the next speedrun. This next speedrunner, I don't think they understand what Minecraft means. They immediately travel into these mines, and they're mining stone with their hands, so they're not gonna be able to get the block. Wait, what's going on here? Is this a new type of third person in Minecraft? Well, they kill some zombies, craft a sword, and after a while of grinding, they get full diamond armor. After the speedrunner finishes mining their materials, they go to sleep. And when they wake up, they're suddenly back in normal Minecraft again, with all of the items that they got in whatever we were just in. And if you think it can't get worse, just wait. They put down these rails and get in this minecart, and they're suddenly playing Mario Kart. So after getting hit like 20,000 times by a bunch of bananas and red shells, the speedrunner finishes their Mario Kart race, and then all of a sudden they're back into real Minecraft and they found Endermen. Listen, I get that Microsoft has been updating Minecraft, but how much have I missed in a few months? As soon as they're about to start fighting these Endermen, Minecraft Steve just learns Taekwondo out of nowhere. So the speedrunner uses a telephone club banner to beat up an Enderman. This is the weirdest speedrun I've ever reviewed, and I kid you not, I guess the speedrunner feels they have enough time to take a musical interlude and get jiggy on the dance floor with Minecraft Steve. Can we just get this speedrun over with already? What in tarnation? I've seen a lot of weird things in my lifetime, but I never thought I'd see Minecraft Steve drunk at a bar. So after a variety of musical interludes from the speedrunner, we are finally back to real Minecraft, and somehow they got 13 ender pearls from beating up endermen. The next thing you'd imagine for the speedrunner to do is probably go to the nether and get blaze rods, right? Well, why in the world are they crafting? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. A spaceship? So the speedrunner rides a spaceship, and then out of nowhere, Minecraft turned into a great value 4K Walmart update. Now the speedrunner is literally in space. I mean, he's making great time. So after the speedrunner completely massacres an entire spaceship of stormtroopers, they have an epic brawl with Herobrine, and I kid you not, Herobrine drops blaze rods. Again, what in tarnation? So I guess the speedrunner's magically back from space now, and they have 11 blaze rods. So they craft Eyes of Ender and throw the Eyes of Ender in the sky. Finally, something normal. The speedrunner digs down, and then they find the stronghold. So they enter the portal room, fill the portal with eyes, and I swear, if something goofy happens, I'm gonna lose it. I mean, it does look like Minecraft Steve, and he does have a pickaxe and shield, and that is a dragon. So the speedrunner has this epic battle with this 4K version of the Ender Dragon, beating Minecraft in record time. I can finally say I've seen it all. In this first speedrun, the player gets some wood, crafts some tools, and then he's ready to find diamonds. He goes into a cave and, well, all of a sudden he can walk through walls. I'm not sure how he's doing this because it still shows that he's in survival mode. Needless to say, he finds diamonds very quickly. He crafts diamond tools and armor, and thank God because his skin is a little weird. After that, he needs obsidian to go to the nether, but wait, no, why is he walking away from it? This speedrunner builds back up and starts walking backwards, and out of nowhere, he starts getting the nether portal animation, but there's not a portal anywhere near him. Okay. This speedrunner explores the nether for a bit, but surprise, surprise, he suddenly has wall hacks again, and he finds a nether fortress very quickly. He gets blaze rods, and at this point in a speedrun, you would want to get ender pearls. So he finds a bastion, and wait, no, why is he walking away from it? The speedrunner goes back to the overworld, and he returns
in a completely different area than before, and there's conveniently a chest at the portal that has ender pearls in it. But the portal he comes back in isn't even lit. What? So he crafts his Eyes of Ender and throws it in the air to determine where the stronghold is. He travels in that direction, but he's suddenly traveling at the speed of light. How is this even possible? He must have given himself the effect and then cut it out of the run. When he's done being a speedster, he finds the stronghold, but he's having a tough time actually finding the portal. It's no surprise that he magically gets wall hacks again. He finds the portal, fills it, and enters the end. For the grand finale, this speedrunner proves his clutch skills by climbing a pillar and doing a 360 bow and arrow on the ender dragon, but how did it just die in one hit? If we rewind this clip, we can see he gave himself strength and feather falling and cut it out of the run. This speedrunner has no shame. We can tell this next speedrun is official because there's a Wondershare Filmora video editor watermark on it. This guy didn't even take the time to get the legit version. His world generation loading screen looks legit, but when he spawns, he's aimed slightly downwards and he's in a village, so he probably spawned himself there. He loots a chest in the village and finds a crap ton of obsidian. With this suspicious amount of obsidian, he makes a nether portal, but I think the speedrunner got confused because he started making it horizontally, but he has some blocks to spare, so it's okay. So his second portal attempt, and he made a square. I can't watch this anymore. He makes his third portal correctly this time and goes to the nether. So he's in the nether, but he has no tools, armor, or weapons, which is a huge problem. And there's a cut to the speedrun where his entire inventory changes. That's right, he instantaneously has netherite armor, tools, and weapons. This must be a new 1.17 feature. So the next step in a speedrun is to find either a bastion or a nether fortress. Wait, no, why is he mining this glowstone? He uses the glowstone and crying obsidian to make a respawn anchor, so I'm beginning to think he doesn't understand how speedruns work. But he clicks on the respawn anchor and somehow gets teleported to the end. But wait, it gets even weirder. He jumps into the void and then somehow he makes it onto the island. But he forgets to cut out the chat saying set own game mode to survival mode. Well, he made it all this way, so the ender dragon fight is gonna be epic, right? Wrong. He cuts again and the dragon is just gone and the portal is spawned. And when he jumps into it, there should be credits, but instead he just automatically spawns back into the overworld. This was painful to watch. This next speedrun has a suspiciously normal start. The speedrunner gets wood, crafts tools, and as soon as he hovers over his tools, they become enchanted. Dude, what? He then digs down to get cobblestone, and when he starts mining the stone, well, you can just watch what happens. After getting diamonds via legitimate methods, the next thing you'd expect for him is to dig further down to make a nether portal. Instead, he walks around for a little and by accident drops his diamond. But when he turns around, a lit ruined nether portal just appears. Casual. To make it worse, when he walks near lava, it automatically becomes obsidian. Now I'm just confused as to how any of this is happening. He loots a chest that conveniently has full enchanted golden armor with protection, unbreaking, and mending. When he gets into the nether, there's no need for the speedrunner to find a bastion or a fortress because as soon as he spawns in, his inventory gets filled with blaze rods, ender pearls, and eyes of ender. He's making significant progress at only 2 minutes into this run. So the speedrunner returns to the overworld and throws the eye of ender to determine where the stronghold is. Wait, no, why is he turning around? What does he do? This is fine. Everything's fine. Well, he fills this fake ender portal with eyes, and as soon as he enters the stronghold, he already has the advancement for defeating the dragon, and there's a chat conversation between him and the dragon, and he does this all in world record time. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. This next speedrun, the speedrunner spawns in a village, but there's experience points on the ground, so he must have died before in this world. He goes inside one of the houses, loots a chest, and gets some pretty legitimate looking items. Thank God he got that armor because his Minecraft skin is Shrek. Right around the corner is the most suspicious looking dungeon I've ever seen in a speedrun. Not only is it above ground and it's spawning endermen, which isn't possible, but the endermen are all facing the same direction and not moving or fighting back at all. Okay, well that was clearly fake, but this speedrunner still has time to redeem himself. He explores more of the village, but once again, right around the corner is a dungeon, spawned above ground, and it's spawning blaze. I guess the spawner wasn't working, so he goes to the nearby farm, and then there's a very obvious cut in the run. Then he tries to cover it up by looting the farm, but when he's done looting and he turns around, there's like 40 more blaze that just magically appeared behind him, and he obliterates them. Right in front of him is a lit ruined nether portal, which is impossible. I don't even know why he bothered making that because he doesn't even need it. He has 11 eyes of ender for the wait a second. Just a minute ago, he got 9 ender pearls, but now he has 11 eyes of ender. When did that happen? This can only get worse. He looks down at the grass for a moment and types in chat, BRB, I have to go eat dinner. Within a split second, there's a cut, and he's suddenly in the stronghold. He finds the portal, fills it, and enters the end. With no reputation left to lose, the speedrunner just starts typing a /kill command to beat the the game. Yeah, that'll go right over the moderators' heads. This next speedrunner spawns right in the middle of the ocean, which isn't possible. He dives down and finds an underwater ruin and takes some legitimate looking loot from the chest. He makes his way to land and starts mining. But wait a second, where did he get that iron pickaxe? If we rewind the footage, he just looted wooden tools, so he must have given himself a free upgrade. He continues mining in a cave system, stops for a moment, then starts typing in chat that he has gut instinct on where Purtle is. Okay. Then he walks further down the cave and finds a ruined nether portal. Dude, come on. He just needs one more obsidian block and then he can light the portal and go to the nether. And here we go again. He has many a feeling of lava after he says that he breaks a very specific block on the wall and reveals a huge pit of lava and water. He completes the nether portal and then goes to the nether, but he struggles to find a fortress and he's wasting precious time. It's common practice for professional speedrunners to change their render distance to find structures more easily, but this speedrunner changes his render distance to the lowest option, looks down at the ground, and makes a shamelessly obvious cut in his run. He changes his settings back, and the way he justifies what happened is that his computer card hot lagged. Dude, I build computers all the time and I don't even know what that means. The speedrunner approaches the blazes, but quickly realizes he could die from the flames, and all of a sudden he has a shield in his left hand, but I'm confused as to why he cheated because he had the materials to just make it legit anyways. He gets his blaze rods and goes back to the overworld, but he still doesn't have any ender pearls. Then he starts typing in chat again saying that he has gut instinct on Slendermen. He walks around the corner and what do you know, there's a dungeon with an enderman spawner in it, which isn't even a legitimate feature of Minecraft. The speedrunner farms his endless supply of Slendermen, then he crafts his Eyes of Ender, locates the stronghold, and makes his way to the end portal. This totally professional and legitimate speedrunner ends his speedrun in the best way possible. While fighting the Ender Dragon, he dies by accident, and with no shame whatsoever, he teleports himself back to the stronghold and then just uses a kill command. I have no words.
This speedrun is unusual for a variety of reasons. Number one, what is an Infinipearl and why is it trademarked? Number two, the speedrunner is so bad that they actually get trapped in this powder snow. Yeah, they waste a good 20 to 30 seconds just trying to escape this snow. It is hilarious. Until we finally discover what the Infinipearl is. Well, they use it to escape the snow. It's exactly what you'd expect. And as soon as they teleport, they turn around and they find a ruined portal. And they're still struggling in the snow. They take a peek at the ruined portal chest and it is loaded to the brim with a lot of good stuff, including speedrunner bulk. What in tarnation? Is this even a legitimate copy of Minecraft? Well, the speedrunner eats the bulk and I guess they're bulked now. Did I miss an update? Can someone help me out in the comments here? The speedrunner attempts, emphasis on attempts, building the ruined nether portal. I don't think this guy's ever heard of a straight line before. Despite that, and despite him not removing that crying obsidian, somehow he still lights the portal. Is this even possible? And surprise, surprise, of course, the speedrunner is right in front of a nether fortress, full to the brim of blazes. So they pearl into the nether fortress, at least they tried to, by accident falling into the pit of lava, and I guess they're fine? This speedrun is beginning to feel like one of those dreams where you show up to class in just your underwear. This is such a fever dream. I guess they survive their slip into the lava, so they proceed to kill blazes. But they quite literally are on the brink of death 1, 2, 3, 4 different times, somehow managing to get 5 blaze rods, which is an absolute miracle for their skill level. So the speedrunner returns to their nether portal, but unfortunately they begin to be chased by this army of piglins. So to avoid being almost killed a 5th time, they just throw all their gold in the ground and hope for the best, dropping a total of 56 gold ingots and getting 45 ender pearls. I am more likely to win the lottery 1,000 times in a row than this happening. So even though the gold distracted the piglins for just a moment, the speedrunner still almost dies trying to enter the nether portal, and somehow by a miracle they actually get in and go back to the overworld. And once in the overworld, the speedrunner crafts 10 Eyes of Ender, unfortunately wasting most of them. What a dummy. While the speedrunner is trying to locate the stronghold, I'm taking a look around their world, and this seed is very suspicious. There are 2 more ruined nether portals, and I'm pretty sure I see diamond on this mountain here, which really makes you wonder, where do you think the stronghold is? So the speedrunner crafts some diamond tools, and then they dig down. On their way down, though, they find a strange ore, mining it, getting an achievement called speedrunning time, and it turns out it's a speedrunner ingot. Again, what in tarnation? But despite all of this, the speedrunner still gets lost, almost dies to a witch, and somehow it turns out they were directly above the portal room the entire time. And remember how I said they wasted all their Eyes of Ender? Yeah, well, do the math here. You got 6 unfilled frames, and he has 4 Eyes of Ender. Well, it's time to make your bets. What do you think this goofball is gonna do? $10 says he summons the Banana Man or the PP Trader. No, well, actually, the speedrunner left clicks on the 2 empty frames, and Yeah, one of the frames is just replaced with an end portal. I mean, hey, that works too. So the speedrunner jumps into their single end portal, entering the end, and come on again. This is not the first time I've seen this. They are in a completely different version of Minecraft. Who has the time to do this? So the speedrunner approaches the dragon and begins to wallop him. Wait a second, why is the speedrunner turning around? They walk away from the ender dragon and the speedrunner finds a mech suit? Wait, that was so cool. Why'd they pause the game? Wait a second, what is that setting? 4K RTX realism? Oh my goodness, they just turned it on. Wait, what's going on here? That was so cool. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. A+ to the speedrunner. This speedrun, I'm gonna need help in the comments figuring out what exactly happened here, because it is very professional, but also so wrong. The speedrunner spawns in a forest, and then they break this very specific window, jumping up and accessing this chest in a village house. And everything looks pretty normal here, other than finding the exact number of obsidian they would need to build a nether portal. I mean, look, maybe this guy is just pretty lucky. So they find a pickaxe and they continue to loot the village houses and get some beds. This section, though, is extremely confusing to me as the speedrunner starts breaking cobblestone in this house, and I don't know if I'm just tired, but there seems to be a very sudden cut. Yeah, actually, wait a second. Now that I take a look back at this footage, something's definitely wrong here. If I go frame by frame here, I don't know if that cobblestone just turned into obsidian or if this is a graphical glitch, but right after this happens, suddenly he's just in a completely different area. So what is this, the magical teleporting block? And that's what's pretty confusing about this cut, is that it seems like nothing is different. So the speedrunner kills a squid and then they get some dye. They go back to the village, breaking a bookshelf and then crafting a book and quill. And here's where I just get so lost. They open up the book and quill and write, I'm not even sure how to say this, a baptized redivides. What is this guy, a Harry Potter fan? What's going on here? And for a while, there is no follow-up as to what this book and quill's purpose is for the speedrun, until they go in the mines, mine some iron ore, and start smelting it. So they build their nether portal, craft flint and steel with their iron, light the nether portal, and remember the book and quill from earlier? Well, here's where it all comes together. Yeah, they just threw that book into the nether portal, and now it looks like it leads to the dark dimension. You know how in my previous videos where I would say they enter the nether, but I say the end by accident? Well, this time, the speedrunner enters the end with the nether portal. What in tarnation? For some reason, the speedrun just goes into a video editor, and they're saying that the speedrun is legit because there's no cut when they enter the end. But if you look back at the timeline, there's like 40 different cuts. Buddy just exposed himself by trying not to expose himself. I cannot deal with this. And for the most part, when they get on the end island, they actually do look like they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to professional speedrunning. Except for when they just put 10x speed on the screen and speed up everything. To be fair, in my personal opinion, the Ender Dragon fight is more boring than watching paint dry, so I do kind of appreciate that the speedrunner sped this part up. And honestly, I don't even care at this point if the speedrun is fake or not. This guy is literally preaching to the choir by typing perch in the chat box. Couldn't have said it better, buddy. After what seems like an eternity, the speedrunner actually does do really well with killing the dragon with beds, beating the game in really amazing time despite me not having any idea what just happened. And I was actually pretty interested in figuring out why there were still minutes left of this video when I found this at the end of it. Special edition TNT Minecraft Nuke. Okay guys, I know this isn't the usual, but we gotta watch this. So someone in the comments gonna have to help me figure out what exactly is happening here, but it looks like he's jamming in a bunch of minecarts with TNT into a single block. Alright, actually that was pretty cool. This is quite literally the fastest speedrun I've ever witnessed in my entire life. The speedrunner creates their world, and we actually have to wait like a whole minute for the loading screen to finish. And as soon as they load into the world, they jump and a nether portal literally appears out of thin air. Well, I guess they're going to the nether now. And before the world even loads in, they get a ton of new recipes and advancements, and they have blaze rods and ender pearls already in their inventory. Somehow the blaze rods turn into blaze powder, and then that's added to the ender pearls to create eyes of ender. If someone has any idea how this is working, I am very curious. Please comment down below. And in a split second, an entire end portal is crafted beneath them. And once they're in the end, they jump, which teleports them on top of the end island. And the Ender Dragon has literally 1 HP. Then the speedrunner uses their bow, kills the dragon, and I guess beats Minecraft in literally 1 minute. But if you don't include the loading screens, it had to have been like 10 seconds. What in tarnation? This speedrunner builds a house. Wait a second. What's going on outside of that house?
Oh my goodness.
Clearly, there's been some Minecraft updates that I've missed over the past few years. This was an absolute fever dream.
This speedrun is interesting because the speedrunner is using a face cam. At first, everything is normal. He spawns in, finds a village, and starts taking the beds for the Ender Dragon battle. He gets very lucky finding obsidian, iron, and bread in a chest, and then he crafts some tools. But here's where things start to get weird. He starts to attack the iron golem for loot, and while he's hitting it, he gets up and leaves. And who's playing the game? Well, he gets the iron and makes a bucket, and the speedrunner comes back onto the camera, and he's eating a sandwich. Is this guy using the controller with his feet? Anyways, he builds the nether portal, crafts flint and steel, and while he lights it, he's literally eating a sandwich and on his phone. I think someone's playing a prank on me. So he enters the nether and conveniently finds a bastion, but he falls and pulls off this insane clutch. Wait a second, is that cat playing the game? What in tarnation? He ends up finding a huge vein of gold blocks and throws 75 gold ingots into a pit of 5 trapped piglins, yielding him 13 ender pearls, which is actually extremely lucky. The speedrunner then changes their render distance and field of view, which is a common practice among professional speedrunners. And in doing so, they discover a nether fortress across the lava lake. So they ender pearl to it and quickly find a blaze spawner. And luckily, they drank a fire resistance potion earlier, so battling the blaze was a breeze. But wait a second, the speedrunner is literally taking a nap on camera, so who's fighting the blaze? I'm so confused. So while the speedrunner is literally asleep, someone is playing the game and building the nether portal, and they return to the overworld. He crafts Eyes of Ender, throws an eye, and then starts traveling in that direction. Luckily, the speedrunner wakes up from his nap and wait a second. He comes back and literally has a Batman costume on. Then he shows off his strength training routine. This is a joke, right? He finds the stronghold, fills the portal, and enters the end. But while he's waiting for the dragon to perch, I guess he breaks out his clarinet. Listen, I'm a musician myself, but my ears are in pain. And while he's jamming out for his next jazz solo, someone is beating the Ender Dragon. Wait a second. His controller was never even plugged in? I can't tell if this guy is cheating or he's just extremely talented. This speedrun has some questionable methods. The speedrunner finds a village and a desert temple right next to it. They get some normal looking loot, but when they come back up, there's suddenly a ruined nether portal outside. And there's conveniently flint and steel and obsidian in the chest. Totally legit. So they complete the portal, light it, and enter the end. They find the nether fortress, get some blaze rods, but here's where things start to get fishy. Everyone knows you can't sleep in the nether. Well, they put a bed down and go to sleep. I have no idea how. And when they wake up in the stronghold. What in tarnation? After looting a couple chests, they come across this one chest and they find a dragon egg? This one was definitely legit. This speedrunner cheats in a way like I've never seen before. He starts off by getting some wood and then wastes a bunch of time breaking all the tree leaves. Okay. Well, when he's done, there's suddenly a stack of wood lying on the ground right next to this cow. Not suspicious at all. Then suddenly a cow flies right past him. I'm so confused. After these very strange events, the speedrunner crafts some tools and finds a village. And inside the village is everything you'd expect. A farm, a house, a well, a cow dropping a golden apple. Wait a second. Did that cow just poop out a golden apple? And an iron pickaxe, an axe, and diamond armor? This guy is so lucky that there's some magical cow pooping out loot. This is the weirdest speedrun I've ever seen. After these unusual events, things just get weirder. The speedrunner loots the farm for some food, and the cow literally starts building the nether portal. I can't believe my eyes. Whoever that cow is though, I don't think they know how to build a portal correctly. After struggling for what seems like minutes, the cow then lights the portal and goes into the nether, and the speedrunner follows it. The speedrunner legitimately got really lucky because he spawned in right next to a bastion, which means he can quickly trap a piglin, trade, and get ender pearls. Well, he explores the bastion and eventually does trap a piglin for trading, and the piglin must be friends with that magical cow because he starts tossing Eyes of Ender and end portal frames. What in tarnation? The speedrunner builds the end portal, enters the end, and this next part is just the icing on the cake. He breaks all the end crystals, and when the dragon perches, another dragon comes out of nowhere and starts fighting. How is any of this possible? After an epic battle, the second dragon kills the original one, and somehow it enters the portal as well. This speedrunner must be on the newest Minecraft update because I am so confused. This speedrun, I'm confused whether they're cheating or their game is haunted. They spawn in and immediately get wood, then they make 2 wooden pickaxes, which is oddly specific. Then they go up this hill and wait a second.
What's that?
If I slow down the footage, that looks just like Herobrine? I don't know whether to be creeped out or confused, but things continue to get weirder. The speedrunner then makes a house, but if I freeze frame the footage, you can literally see Herobrine on the side of the screen. And the speedrunner puts some of his items in the chest, then you can hear the chest open and close. When the speedrunner opens his chest, all of his items are gone. After the house being haunted, the speedrunner leaves the area and eventually finds a forest where all the trees have no leaves. Okay. He follows the path made by the trees, which leads to a ruined nether portal that literally builds itself. What in tarnation? He loots the chest and finds some useful items like 2 swords, a shovel, and some iron nuggets. Then he enters the nether portal, and after perusing the nether, he finds what seems to be a trail of mushrooms that conveniently lead him to a nether fortress. Well, there's a suspicious amount of blaze spawned, and look who's here again. All of a sudden, every blaze dies at the same time, and these blaze rods just appear out of nowhere. After these very, very lucky events, the speedrunner leaves the nether, which isn't smart, considering they never found a bastion to get ender pearls. But just wait till you see what happens. When they get back to the overworld, they wander around for a while until they find a trail of ender pearls in the ground. After the trail ends, they have more than enough ender pearls, so they just start digging straight down, and they find the stronghold. How convenient. As they're trying to find the end portal, look who stopped by to visit. Herobrine. Even after completing the end portal, Herobrine is somehow there again. As if the speedrun wasn't haunted enough already, when they get to the end, the speedrunner stands in the middle of the end island, and every end crystal is broken without him moving a muscle. And when the dragon perches, you can see someone landing on the ground next to it, and then the dragon instantly dies. But this is the weirdest part. Before the speedrunner enters the endgame portal to complete the speedrun, you can hear footsteps behind them, and when they turn around, the speedrun cuts to black. What a cliffhanger. This speedrunner starts off in a village, then he goes to the nether, and then he enters the port. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This next speedrunner is Dream, or at least I think it is. He spawns in a village and finds some pretty normal looking loot. Some wood, a fishing rod, grass seeds, and an enchanted book. Then he makes a crafting table and a boat. Seems legit to me. But then he applies the enchanted book to the bow and it's infinity. How is this even possible? He loots more chests and finds some wood, some iron, a bucket, and this next chest, he conveniently finds flint, diamond, and just enough obsidian to make a nether portal. So he makes the nether portal and enters the end, and he's completely surrounded by lava, but it looks like there's a nether fortress in the distance. Now how is he gonna get over there? Okay, now I know what the infinity enchantment was for. I'm not even sure if this is possible, but that clutch was actually really impressive. But here's where things start getting really suspicious. He gets into the nether fortress and kills a blaze, but remember that enchanted axe that he got from the chest earlier? Well, it drops unnatural amounts of blaze rods. 4 stacks? Not fake at all. Somehow he glitches his boat and launches himself across the nether, conveniently back to the portal. Now remember his looting luck with the blaze? Well, when he gets back to the overworld, there's an enderman conveniently waiting for him. Coincidence? I think not. And it drops 3 stacks of ender pearls. So he makes Eyes of Ender, throws them into the sky to determine the stronghold location, and once again launches himself across the map with his magical enchanted boat. And he conveniently lands right into a village. Nice. Then he makes 1 bed, jumps into the water, and wait a second, is that the stronghold? I don't think the speedrun moderators were fooled by this one. So he fills the end portal with eyes, enters the end, and as soon as they enter the end, the dragon just dies. Alright, so it's possible this wasn't Dream. This speedrun starts off normal as usual, but that resource pack is just unpleasant to look at. The speedrunner jumps in the water, then mines a tree. Then they walk over to this strange emerald structure, and inside, wait, what's that floating in there? It's a pig. And did that pig just vomit netherite blocks? And a diamond pickaxe? Okay, that's gotta be the luckiest pig I've ever seen. So they make a crafting table and use it to make diamonds and sticks, even though they could have crafted that without the table. I don't think they know how to play Minecraft. Then the speedrunner finds a mysterious netherite emerald tree and a ruined nether portal. So they waste a ton of time mining this emerald tree, and they find a chest underneath it that has a free weapon upgrade inside. This guy's luck just keeps getting better and better. And inside the portal chest is a ton of obsidian and flint and steel. How convenient. So they finish the portal, light it, and enter the nether. But when they get to the nether, you can clearly see a floating potion bottle, and then the sound of someone drinking a potion. This must be the newest feature. Then they enter a conveniently mined tunnel and mine a bunch of gold blocks inside. And at the end of the tunnel is what appears to be floating particle effects. So this is definitely his friend with an invisibility potion. I guess he needs to wait for his friend's potion to wear off, so he just starts randomly mining blocks, and when he comes back, oh my gosh, this resource pack is cursed. I think that's supposed to be a piglin. The piglin starts pooping out ender pearls and blaze powder, even though the speedrunner never dropped his gold ingots. Totally legit. So they return to the overworld overworld, but you can clearly see a floating bucket of milk. Not conspicuous at all. After running around for a while, wasting a ton of time, this random cow starts floating and poops out full netherite armor and end portal frames. And you can see the cow holding a potion. These guys are terrible at hiding the fact that they're cheating. After the magical cow ascends to the heavens, the speedrunner tries to make the end portal, and it's painful to watch. They try to make a second one, and they mess that up too. Third time's a charm though, right? Nope. On their fourth attempt, they miraculously build it correctly, and they enter the end. When they get to the nether, everything seems normal, except for when this floating farmer appears. And he seems pretty innocent. I mean, it's just a villager. Oh my goodness, that farmer is armed with a weapon! The villager proceeds to attack the ender dragon, beats it in one shot, and just like that, this speedrunner secured his place as the world record holder. This speedrunner starts off by finding a village, mining a tree, and then he crafts a house. Wait, this is the wrong footage. This speedrun has a timer, so we know it's legit. We'll just ignore the fact that there's a command block on the ground, they just set their game mode to survival, and they're level 21,000. Totally legit. The speedrunner immediately finds a suspicious looking hole with water at the bottom of it. And just like that, they found the stronghold. Before he walks through the door, you can see a pressure plate on the ground, and it gave him strength. So he clearly spawned this in creative mode. They open the chest, and there's golden apples, eyes of ender, and netherite armor. You know, just the usual Minecraft loot. And they waste like 30 seconds organizing the loot into their hotbar. I don't think they know how to speedrun Minecraft. And oh look, 2 more pressure plates. I wonder what those will do. Yeah, so he has a few more lives than a cat now. The speedrunner got pretty lucky finding those 60 eyes of ender in a chest, but he doesn't even need them because the end portal is already lit. You've gotta be kidding me. So they enter the end, and the speedrunner proceeds to show off his sharpshooter skills by sniping the ender dragon with his bow and missing every single shot. Even cheating, this guy is terrible. After missing 50 shots, the dragon perches and the speedrunner vanquishes her in record time, beating the game in just under 3 minutes.